Rebuilding a Burnac Vulcan model steam engine toy part 7. General reassembly of the engine and boiler, fitting heat insulation to the firebox area, bolting the boiler to the base and fitting the engine to the boiler. This clip shows more or less the complete kit of parts, including the 5/16 of an inch diameter wick that I bought via eBay. There are still a few things left to do apart from the assembly. I need to paint the flywheel, and I'll do that in the next episode. First, I'm going to look at this piece of wick. It would appear to be very good quality stuff. In the polythene bag with the piece of wick is an instruction sheet. This only applies to paraffin or lamp oil, or kerosene in the USA, but I will not be using kerosene. I'll be using methylated spirit because it burns a lot cleaner. I have to think about this operation, even though it's quite simple. I put as much of the wick as possible into one of the holes in the burner, so that the wick itself coils around inside the burner. The last thing that you need is a methylated spirit burner, just as a tank full of liquid meths. Once I'd put as much of the wick into the burner as possible, via the first hole in the burner, I put some wick into the second hole, but not quite as much. I will withdraw this piece of wick to fill the burner. A quick trim and that's it. In the next episode I will test this burner on the bench before I fit it to the engine itself. Just to recap, all I have to do is remove the right hand piece of wick, fill the burner with methylated spirits and then put the wick back in place. The hole in the centre of the burner is just a vent hole, which makes sure that the methylated spirit is always vented to the atmosphere. Moving on now, this is the base, looking very resplendent in Great Northern Railway green. And now, without further ado, it is top tip time. When I was looking for details of the safety valve, I watched a few YouTube videos showing these Burnac Vulcans running. And most of them were highly polished, but unfortunately the heat of the burner overheats the bottom part of the boiler because there isn't a water space. I thought it would be a useful idea to put some thermal insulation around the bottom part of the boiler to stop this discoloration. Time will tell as to whether this is successful or not. Once I'd fitted the heat insulation, I sat the boiler in the correct position on the base. Before I fit the bolts though, I need to polish the heads of the bolts to match the boiler, and for this I'm using the wire brush attachment in my Proxxon bench mounted drill. And here I'm cleaning the first head of the set of 3 bolts. Here's the second one for the same treatment. Another top tip: when polishing brass bolts, using a wire brush as shown here, hang on to the bolt tightly because if it flies off you will not find it. It's easy to use a telescopic magnet to find steel bolts, but that doesn't work with brass obviously. A while ago in an outdoor market I bought this really cheap set of tools, and one of the tools is a very long pair of narrow nose pliers, and this really has proved to be most useful. Here I'm screwing the brass machine screw into the nut, which in turn is held inside the firebox by the long nose pliers. For the next job I need some of this. It is graphited yarn. I need to wrap a small amount of this around the steam pipe, which in turn is held to the boiler with a union nut. I'm actually using Teflon coated yarn, which is slightly better than graphited yarn. It's a bit more homogeneous. The old graphited yarn was really good, but I think it may contain asbestos. The new graphited yarn doesn't contain asbestos, but it's not as good. This Teflon coated yarn feels like the old graphited yarn, isn't as dirty and possibly isn't as dangerous, or not as far as I know anyway. Initially I fitted the union nut loosely. I will tighten it up once I've bolted the engine assembly to the boiler, and that's what I'm doing now. This was quite fiddly and I ended up sticking the nuts to my finger with some Loctite 542. And that's only because I couldn't find the super glue, which is up in the other workshop. This part of the job was very fiddly, but I got there in the end. Here I'm applying some oil to the port face. This part of the job is very important and must not be omitted. When I fit the cylinder, there'll be even more oil on the port face. But this is enough for now. I also oiled the bearings. These bearings are not too good, they're a bit worn, and when I fit the crankshaft, as you can see, there's a bit of play between the crankshaft and the bearings at both ends. I really am in two minds whether to make this into a super Burnac Vulcan by making a new crankshaft, putting proper phosphor bronze bearings in place, and making an extensive modification to the water gauge. I wouldn't do this if it was a really expensive engine, but these engines are very common and they're very cheap to buy. When I was looking at videos about the Burnac Vulcan steam engine on YouTube, I did notice that all of them had very wobbly crankshafts. And one that I looked at had a very leaky water gauge. You've just been watching me lubricating the piston and cylinder, and now the trunnion pin's in place, the spring's on the trunnion pin, and the nut is putting some positive pressure on the spring, which holds the cylinder to the port face. Now it's finally time to tighten up the union nut, being very careful not to over tighten it. Don't forget that the boiler parts of these small Burnac Vulcan engines are soft soldered, so if you over tighten the union nut, you could loosen the threaded part in the top of the boiler. As always, I'm using my adjustable spanner, which is a Barco adjustable spanner, to tighten the nut, and you will notice that owing to the width of the jaws, it doesn't make marks on the union nut. The last part of the job is to apply some oil to the piston rod where it meets the crank pin. This oil, by the way, is not machine oil. I buy it from a company called Hallett Oils, and it's compounded steam engine lubricating oil. It's a bit thicker than machine oil. The last job in this episode is to fit the flywheel. In the next episode, I'll show a test run of the engine and a potential modification to the water gauge, as well as painting the flywheel. But that's it for now. As always, stay safe, stay healthy. Thanks for watching, and I hope you found it useful. Please take the time to visit my Main Steam Models website and click on the section of the website that says Video Playlists. And by doing that, you can find other videos that you may like to watch. And by using the playlists, you can actually watch the videos back to back.